Good morning, class.
Good morning, Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. This is my Teachback video for the 100 Classics. Okay, so your reading that was assigned was I Was a Rat. It's by Pullman. And so the agenda right here we're going to go through today is we're first going to summarize the reading that you went through. We're going to go through the vocabulary list that was in your workbook. We're also going to go through the exercises that was for the vocabulary, numbers 1 through 4. Then the comprehension and discussion questions, and at the end I'm going to ask you your predictions that you think will happen after whatever you've read. Okay? So, if I could have someone summarize the text for me to begin, and then we'll go through your exercises. Go ahead.
A boy knocks on a couple's door one night. The couple, Bob and Joan, find a little boy in a torn and stained uniform. He's dirty, hungry, and keeps repeating, "I was a rat." The couple feed the boy and continue to question who he is. When they ask him for his name or where he's from, the boy responds with the same phrase, "I was a rat." They decide to give the boy the name Roger, a name they would have called their own son. Then they clothe him and give him a place to sleep for the night. The next morning, they find him laying in shredded clothes and bedding. Bob feeds him again and teaches him how to use his utensils. They take Roger to City Hall in hopes of finding his parents. The lady at City Hall says there are no reported children missing and is unable to help Bob and Joan. Meanwhile, Roger has found a pencil to chew on. The lady sees him and demands that the couple pay for the damaged property. When they tell the lady at City Hall that Roger says that he was a rat, she no longer wants to help them, and the three are sent away.
Awesome. Good job. Alright, and so the reason that we wanted to summarize the reading was just so that everyone is on the same page again, just to reiterate what you guys read before. And also, it's a good tool to use in the future, whether you're taking other tests, any SAT, and having to go through comprehension questions. Also, if you just want to tell someone a story that you heard, whether you're talking to people or just sharing something that you heard, you're able to summarize it in a more effective and concise way. Okay, so we're going to go through the vocabulary list that you have in your workbook, so if everyone can open your workbooks, and then we are going to read through each of the words, and go ahead and read me the definition as well. So, I can have you start over there?
Yes. Cobbling is the act of making or repairing shoes.
Distress is a condition of danger or desperate need.
Errand, a short trip taken to do or get something especially for someone else.
Fiancé, a woman engaged to be married.
Can I stop you right there? So that's actually pronounced fiancé. And like you said, it's a woman engaged to be married. Okay, we're going to keep going.
Number 5, fidget, to move or cause to move or act nervously or restlessly.
Guzzle, to drink greedily.
Privy is a bathroom.
Reluctant, showing doubt or unwillingness.
Royal, of or relating to a king or queen.
Scourge, someone or something that is an instrument of punishment or criticism.
Startle, to frighten suddenly and usually not seriously.
Tattered, torn in shreds, ragged.
Very good, thank you guys. So, from the vocabulary list, we're going to use some of these words in your exercises. So the first one is matching definitions. And so there are 6 words in your word bank, and there are 6 questions. So you're going to match one of the words to one of the questions. Alright, so we're going to go with number 1. The first one says, very strong or bright. Yes?
Is it vivid?
It is vivid. So it's here on the board, if you need to see it. And number 2. So question is, to frighten suddenly and usually not seriously. Yes?
Startle.
Startle, very good. Number 3, a woman engaged to be married. Yes?
Fiancé.
Very good, fiancé. And number 4, a condition of danger or desperate need.
Distress.
Very good, distress is correct. Number 5, torn in shreds for ragged. Yes.
Tattered.
Tattered. Very good. Alright, and number 6, someone or something that is an instrument of punishment or criticism. Yes.
Is this scourge?
So you do have the correct word, but it's actually pronounced scourge. So it's here on the board. Go ahead and check your answers. Make sure they are correct. And if they're not, go ahead and fill in the correct part. Okay, we're going to move on to the next section, which is synonyms. And so synonyms are words that have similar meanings to another word. And so for this section, there's a sentence and there's a highlighted word in the sentence. You're going to figure out which words below can match up with that highlighted word. So I'm going to start with number 1. In service, said Bob. That means being someone's servant. Have a master or mistress and run errands for him. And so if you look at those words below, go ahead and figure out which one of them can match up with the highlighted word errands. Yes, go ahead.
Mistakes.
It's actually not mistakes. So I'm going to read you the definition of errands that is on your vocabulary list. And so the definition is a short trip taken to do or get something especially for someone else. Did you want to try again?
Tasks.
Task is the correct word. Very good. So that is D. So make sure you have D. So number 2. The boy tried to look at himself, but he was reluctant to leave the bowl. The highlighted word here is reluctant, so look at those 4 words below and determine which one can be synonymous with reluctant. Yes.
Is it unwilling?
Yes, it is. A, unwilling. Alright. Number 3. The pillow was burst open and feathers lay like snow over the whole bed. Even Bob's old nightshirts lay in tattered strips around the thin little body on the mattress. So your highlighted word is tattered. Go ahead and see which one corresponds with tattered. Yes.
Torn.
Torn, correct. That is C. C, torn. And the last one is number 4. It says, "Come along," said Bob, and took him by the hand. He could see Roger fidgeting and guessed what he wanted to do, and took him to the privy just in time. So the highlighted word is fidgeting. Which one of them can be synonymous?
B, twitching.
B, twitching, that's correct. And if we look at that one, we can see that he had to take him to the privy. So again, the privy, if you look back on your vocabulary list, it means bathroom. And so the reason maybe he had to take him to the bathroom was because he was fidgeting or twitching, showing that he needed to use the restroom. Okay, number 3. We're going to go on to the definitions and sentences part. So again, there's a sentence and a highlighted word, and you're going to make me a new sentence using that highlighted word. Okay, so number 1. She put it in front of the boy, and without a second's pause, he put his face right down into the bowl and began to guzzle it up directly, his dirty little hands gripping the edge of the table. So your word is guzzle. Can someone share with me their sentence that they wrote? Yes.
The thirsty boy would not share his drink and guzzled it quickly.
Very good. I like that you also use the definition in the sentence so that we understand what the word guzzle meant. Okay, number 2. He was pointing to a picture of the prince's new fiancée. The prince had just met her the other day, and they'd fallen in love at once. And the royal engagement was the main story of the week. So your word is royal. If someone can share with me their sentence that they wrote for royal. Yes.
I wrote, the royal family lives on the hill in their palace.
Very good, thank you. Number 3. You shouldn't tear things up like this, she cried, and she took his thin little shoulders and shook him. Not hard, but enough to startle him. So your word is startle. Can someone share with me their sentence for startle? Yes.
The boy was startled by the noise outside, but realized it was only the wind.
Very good. So startle again means to frighten suddenly and not usually seriously. So it's good that you said that it only startled him, so it wasn't too serious of an issue. Okay, we're going to move on to the next part, which is comprehension and discussion questions. And so this section is so that we can see that you guys have understood the text that you read, you're able to answer the questions based on what you read, and also this discussion questions we're going to go into will help us to further understand the text and also think more about what the themes were in the text. So if you can open up your workbooks to your comprehension questions, we're going to go through those right now. So for these comprehension questions, I ask that you write your answers in complete sentences and also to let us know where you found the information to the question. So for number 1, who is Prince Richard marrying and where did he meet her? Yes.
Prince Richard is marrying Lady Ariella Ashington, and they met at the summer ball.
Very good. And so actually, also her name is Lady Aurelia. If everyone can say Lady Aurelia Ashington.
Lady Aurelia Ashington.
Thank you. And what page did you find that on again?
I found it on page 1.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, number 2. What do Bob and Joan do for a living?
On page 3, I found Bob is a cobbler, someone who mends or fixes shoes, and Joan is a washerwoman.
Very good. Thank you for also including the definition of a cobbler. Okay, number 3. Who knocks on Bob and Jones's door? Yes.
A little boy in a page's uniform knocked on their door. And I found that on page 4.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, number 4. What is the boy wearing and what's strange about him? Yes.
The boy is wearing a page's uniform that is torn and stained. His face is scratched and grubby. It is strange that he keeps repeating, "I was a rat," and that he has no name. And that was on page 4 and 5.
Very good, thank you. And do you guys know what a page boy is, by any chance? No. Okay, so let me just tell you. So a page boy is actually a little boy who attends the bride at a wedding. He usually is someone who will carry her train. And page boys are not commonly found, but they are usually at British weddings. Similar is if you guys have heard of ring bearers, the little boys who walk down the aisle after the flower girls and hold the rings. These are kind of close to that. So that's just a little extra point. We're going to move on to number 5. What does the boy say when he sees a picture of the prince's fiancée in the newspaper? Yes.
The boy sees a picture of the prince's fiancée in the newspaper and says her name is Mary Jane. But the Daily Scourge says the prince's fiancée is named Lady Aurelia Ashington. And I found that on page 8.
Page 8. Very good. Thank you. And number 6. What do they decide to call the boy? Yes.
At first they thought of his names as Casper and Crispin, but ultimately they named the boy Roger.
And where did you find that?
I found this on page 9.
Very good. Okay, and actually I think I forgot the sentence completion section of your exercises for your vocab, so you guys can turn back to do that. We're going to go through that really quickly. So, these questions, they have sentence starters, and then what you're going to do for me is tell me how you can finish that sentence using the word's meaning that is provided, okay? So, number 1, the tattered carpet made the whole room look blank. So think about the word tattered and what it means, and then you're going to give me a finisher to that sentence based on the word tattered. Yes.
The tattered carpet made the whole room look worn out.
Yes, very good. Number 2, the kid started to fidget in his chair because blank. The word here is fidget, so think about what the word fidget means and what might be a finisher to the sentence starter. Yes.
The kid started to fidget in his chair because he needed to use the bathroom.
Very good. And maybe also another finisher to that was he was fidgeting because maybe he was grumpy, or he was bored, he didn't want to be in the chair anymore, so that's why he began to fidget. Okay, we're going to go and finish the discussion questions. And so actually for this part, this goes into a little more depth, and so I want you guys to get into groups, discuss each of the questions, and compare with your classmates what your answers were. Kind of come up with a unanimous answer, and then we'll come back and we'll go through those as a class, okay? Okay, so number 1, I'm going to read the question for you guys. Do you think Roger was really a rat? And what about him makes you believe that what he's saying is true or not? Explain. So if I could have the first group over here answer that question.
Yes. I really think Roger was a rat because he is dirty and has no manners, and his genuine cluelessness about normal human things proved that he wasn't a human. And I also found a quote in the text saying he was trying to wrap a long tail around himself, and he did this before he fell asleep, so it kind of made that image in my head.
Very good. I like that you quoted the text and you used that as part of the answer. Very good. Okay, next question number 2. What is your impression of Bob and Joan? Do you think they're nice people? Why or why not? So can I have the next group answer that question?
Bob and Joan are nice people because they take care of Roger by feeding and clothing him. They even try to take him to City Hall to figure out who his parents are. They even also teach him how to eat and have good manners. And Bob pays for the pencils that Roger ends up eating at City Hall.
Very good, thank you. Okay, and the last question. What does the word scourge mean? And why do you think the author names the town's paper the Daily Scourge? So the final group, can I have you answer that question? Yes, go ahead.
The word scourge means someone or something that is an instrument of punishment or criticism. And I think the author names the town's paper Daily Scourge because it's used to criticize or punish the people that are written about. And in the last part, the writers call the prince a playboy who has many previous girlfriends.
Very good. Okay, great job, guys. Those are all your questions that we had. The last part that I want to go through was about the predictions. So after reading your assignment for your homework, I know that you may have thoughts about what might happen and what you think will happen. So if you guys can write those down for me, and I'll collect those later, and then we can discuss that next class before we go through the next part of the text. But that is basically it. Thank you guys. You guys did a wonderful job answering and with discussion. And so I'll see you guys next class. Thank you.